Okay, we got our port work done on our our Poulan Pro 455. We're expecting good things out of this. It's a nice saw. It's real nice. Putting the rings on. There's a couple things I want to cover with you guys. And one of you guys had asked me how to tune a 365. Ian, is that right? Did I get that right? Probably didn't. Faces I got. I'm bad with names, guys. Just trust me. Tuning your 365 to 372. This is how you do it. You see an L and an H. That's low jet and high jet. Low jet affects your idle. High jet affects how much fuel it's getting at high RPM. Somewhere at mid-range there's a transition period between the two. The high jet just kind of kicks in and takes over. Okay, screw your screws in till they just bottom. Don't reef them. Just one turn out on your low, one full turn out on your high. The saw will run there. If it's ported, about 1 1/8 turn on your high, 1 on your low. When you get it started, and the saw probably needs to clean out a little bit, let it warm up. If that's sitting there idling like crazy good, maybe you want to not go to the next step. But the next true step is richen that just slightly and give that about 10 seconds to get used to that setting, because what you'll probably find out is when you go too far open, they'll burble. Get your idle right, not where your chain's running, but where the idle's up kind of nice. If it's too low, they just kind of don't get air enough. So, high enough idle, but not where your chain's running. And as you turn your low screw out just a little more, you'll feel it start dropping a little. Give it time. Pull it back just a whisker till it starts to clean out. Give it just a touch more in. Leans it out. On your high jet, the right way is to check it in the wood. You can ring it. Long as that's not screaming on the top end. It's 4-stroking. You got that burble that comes up and kind of stops. With that burble, you're good. But adjust that one in the wood. Get the cut and kind of decide, is this got 4-stroking all the time? If it is, or for quite a little bit, turn that in just a little bit. You'll find that sweet spot. Now, if that gets ring-zingy when you let go of the throttle after you've been cutting, you probably got to adjust your low jet back to rich a little more rich. If it's screaming on the top end in the cut, really, you'll know what I'm talking about if it does it. Richen it slightly by going counterclockwise. Okay, counterclockwise on both riches them. It leans them by going clockwise. So hopefully I answered your question there. Okay, this saw is for Buck and Billy. We know that. It's a nice example of one of these. These are a one-off year, by the way. The Poulan Pro 455 is. We have an anomaly, and I want to show this to you because you will deal with this. It's kind of nice on these saws, these old saws like this. You know the crank rotates this way, so it goes this way around. Okay? It feeds this side real good right here. And it feeds that boost real good. But the upper side doesn't, and I'll tell you how I know that. This is your boost port right here. Let me get my pointer out. This is the pattern from your boost port. You can see that? That's working good. You can see right here that it's on the secondary transfers really feeding. Primary wasn't as good, okay? But on this side, it wasn't feeding at all, hardly, was it? No. So, this is probably going to get some of you in trouble, and maybe it won't, but I hope you cautiously sneak up on what I'm trying to tell you. If you can get your air fuel even across the top of the piston, you're better off. This is just the way it is. Okay? What I chose to do on this side of the piston that doesn't get fuel, I chose to open them transfers up quite a bit more. That's this side. They're quite bigger than this side. Believe me, especially down in the bottom. I wanted that to really draw air. I'll tell you another thing I did. Cut that quite low. Both sides, actually. I was going to do just the one side, and I got looking at how this darn thing works. I cut both of them right down, right below the level there. I want this to get air. Now, I'm going to tell you what we got now. We got air. Guaranteed. Okay, we're going to do some work on the reeds. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. We're definitely going to do some work on the carb. But for those of you that's building P38, P41, stuff like that, P51, this is good information. It doesn't matter what you got. These numbers are valid for these saws. But if you haven't messed with the reeds yet and your reed's good, try it just the way it is. Trust me. I'm sure if some of you is getting a little problem, you'll probably email me or say something in the comments if you get there. Now, those of you that's building them P38s, don't expect that to run like buckins. Their transfers are goofy. And you got to do horrible things to that particular saw to make that run like that. And I'm not willing to build any more of them. I got lucky on one. I'm not pushing my luck anymore. I'll end up with problems. You accept what you got sometimes. You just for what it is. Believe what I'm telling you. You don't push them hard. They don't have the transfers without getting stupid, and I can't share it because I'll guarantee you're going to have trouble with them. If you're an advanced porter and you really want to know, email me. Then I'll give you the scoop. But I try hard to get good information out there that'll work. Stuff you can do with just a lowly Dremel tool and a few little files, and a little bit of sandpaper, and go from there. Because I want as many of you to have fun doing this as possible. When you get right down into this deep, crazy stuff, sometimes it's not as much fun. It's not. Is this saw crazy? I got an idea it is. We're going to know when Buggin gets it. He'll give it a hack. Yep. You'll say, yep, good to go. I'm running this. I know he will. But these reeds, we're going to play with these reeds a bit. I guarantee you that. That's one thing we are going to do. And I got to get my engine assembly silicone out, make sure everything's just so, and we'll put this sucker together. When you put this motorcycle engine assembly silicone on, you're just paintbrushing. You're just going light. You don't need, trying to get it where you guys can see it, but I still got to. You just paint it on with your finger. That's all you're doing. You don't need a lot, because this ends up being a layer of between 2 and 3 thousandths, okay? You're just trying to get it even and black. You don't want crap load, I'll guarantee you. It'll squeeze out and it'll be blocking your transfers, and you don't want that. See, that's just, see, I got all the way around with one little fingerful. Just make sure you got it. And I still got that much left over. So that worked out, didn't it? I gotta get it off my darn hand. Got rainy weather out here, but it's still warm. I'm kind of happy about that. I'm not the guy that's ready for winter this year. I'll tell you that straight out. I'm not. I'm just kind of. I'm not ready for it. I got a face cord of wood. That's what I got. We burn a lot of coal though, but yeah, I got to get some wood. And we're gonna get some cutting videos then. Now, one thing I did with this saw, and I'll tell you, some saws they do it, and some saws they don't. But I blocked off that decompressor because, especially with saws that are older, this is an oddball decompressor for size. I got it over in the bin. This happened to be in good shape, but I blocked it off. If you don't need it, Bucking will be able to start this fine. I just mix up my, I use that quick set JB welds, what I use, because I can work with it quite fast. But you just mix it up, push it down your hole, just keep shoving it till you see it come out in the hole down there. Take a finger, wipe it out, paper towel, some carb cleaner, make darn sure you get all of it out. And you want that to kind of be a dimple inside, not level, okay? Now, you'll be surprised, you'll gain a little compression doing that. There's a little bit of a loss in power leaving that in there. If you got a saw like a 394, 395, or 66 Magnum, or any of them, 2100, that's got crap loads of compression, and you just might not pull that over without breaking your starter rope, don't do it. No, don't do it. You'll hate that. Okay, my next step is I'm going to oil my piston, my cylinder, and I will be throwing this on momentarily. I should have did that one on camera. See, they're so close right here. You got to fiddle and rock things around, and it wanted to go back on. It's not always the case, trust me. Sometimes they want to just fight you a bit. So I'm kind of interested in this. I doubt we'll have this running today. I could if I wanted. We don't know. Let's see what happens. They're interesting saws. I'll tell you what we might be doing here in the future. We just might, and I think I said this, but I'll say it again. We might be doing a 576 or a 572. I want to build a 576. I want to own it and build it. I'll tell you why. It's because I don't want to take somebody else's saw and screw it up. And I'd rather screw one up myself than I own. I won't test on somebody else's saws. And so that's the way that goes. You can understand that. Now, because I got this nicely modified T-wrench, one of you guys said, I think that's 16th inch. I think you meant 3/16, didn't you? No, it's not. 1.5 millimeter. I didn't look at the charts to see where that comes in, but any of the T-bars that came in my sets, I got an SAE and a metric, not even close. It is 3.5 millimeter. The thread pitch is metric. I checked that with my gauge, so you'll figure that out. We're gonna, as soon as I get this, I'm kind of sneaking up on this one. I just had a Molly cylinder and a Molly piston. MAHLE. Yeah, you Steel and Husky guys know. They're good stuff. They really are. I think I'm to the point now what I need to do is dig out my coil. So let's do that. Okay, got my coil cleaned up. Cleaning out my bolts. I'll tell you, these Allen head bolts, I blow the ends out of them. I try to get them before I take them apart, but sometimes you can't always. Clean your threads up. And we are going to take it off the magnet. I'll turn this down so you can watch a little bit more. And now I got a hemi coil. I just got it out. There we go, just like that. I think I was telling you guys, see that wire right there, that's your ground wire. It goes to your switch. That's got a particular routing spot. This one's in a factory position. If you get a Pioneer or a poulan, right there is where this, it routes right up underneath this bushing. And then right up around. You wouldn't think it would, but it does. If that's not in that position, when you put your starter cover on, you can pinch that, and that'll ground out, and you won't have any spark. Believe me, I've had two here that didn't have spark, and both of them were that problem. I had one just plain was darn bad coil, so that happens too. Okay, so make sure my flywheel's off my magnet. Get a bolt started through each hole. Take the only Allen wrench I own to get these started in. And I'll show you a little something that's kind of interesting here in just a second. Okay, we're getting it. We're making time now. I'll get that where that's up there kind of snug. Not tight, because we got to set the gap. If that coil is too close to the flywheel, it'll rub, and it's hard on that coil. But if it's too far away, you don't get any spark. But I take a spark plug box, open it up, got a little hard on that, take my little razor knife, that's a thickness. And what I do, I just get that between the coil without it being on the magnet. And then I roll that around until it's on the magnet. Now that magnet will grab right a hold of that. Okay? I just give it a little push. Okay? Hold it in. And you just tighten it up. And that's that. Okay, we're getting the starter cover on. It won't take long now. I know I like to see how they roll over as soon as I can. I'll probably have this cover off again. It's just the way it works. I verified my ground wire is not pinched under this cover. That does seem to be a problem on these. Oh, like the Pioneers, poulans, any of them of this design, this particular one, they'll grab that ground wire. That fuel line, it's been on there a while, but it's a darn good line, and they're easy to change. So if there's ever a problem, it's no big deal. Now, these old saws where the line goes in the tank and you gotta have the carburetor off, that ain't a real good line. If you can, it's just better off to change the darn thing. That's gonna be good. That's going to be real good, in fact. Pretty happy about that. Let me blow this off. These saws that are case-fed reeds, I really have a lot of fun with them. I really do. I think I'm going to play with reed materials. We'll probably do that next. Sometimes the only way you get some of this grime off is do it as you go, you know. It is what it is on Bill Block. Son of Liberty got a nice new saw. Good job. I like the price, man. I'll take 10 of them at that price. Well, that ain't perfectly clean, but it's a darn sight better than it was. I'll show you what. Should look at something. I haven't checked this to see if this actually works, but these are V-Force reeds for the V-Force, the original V-Force for Honda CR500. And I got these for our reed cage, but we found out we needed a reed cage, so it'd be kind of nice if they're long enough. I believe it is, so as I do, and wide enough. That I don't think it is. It might be. I'd really like to try this material because I really like these carbon fiber reeds a lot. I'm gonna take a minute, take this reed cage apart because this is kind of next, and let me just see what I end up with. Okay, that's the reed that was in this. They're kind of a composite nylon reed. This is carbon fiber. Now, the properties of carbon fiber and nylon are completely different from each other. So you can't just go by thickness. You got to go. You dirt bike guys know, reeds are a feel. You know, what's it feel like? So let's just check. So, $22 thousandths. 19 thousandths. It's 3 thousandths thinner. But I'm gonna tell you what, it moves easier. I hope you can understand what I'm saying. It moves easier initially, but then you start pushing on it, it gets real resistant. So I think that I can do this. Now this one right here feels the same all the time. We don't have that easy movement, okay? What I do a lot of times, I'll sand these till I get that little easy movement. Because you got to think when that saw is idling, and then what's it going to do when it's running. This feels nice. But I'll tell you what, I do believe one of them pedals is going to cover that, don't you? You get that there. See that? I think I can take that apart, sneak up on this little sucker with a little bit of grinding, a little bit of drilling, and of course you got to decide what we're going to do about this. You know, one thing I don't like, I've seen a lot of sawdust in the reeds and stuff. Look at that air cleaner. Oh, hell no. That ain't gonna work. A damn old piece of foam. Poulan. I know you guys say poulan. No, I can't say poulan. I say poulan. I call it, it's always been poulan. I think I got a proper air filter for this. I'm not running foam on this. That's formed foam. But that's a bad idea, as I'll guarantee you right now, you can look at the side of that, that's leaking sawdust in that darn saw. I don't like that. Okay. So, I'm going to wrap the video up. What we're doing, we're playing with reeds right now. Might be playing with carburation. If there's anything hinky at all about what I'm doing here, I just ain't going to show you until I know it works, then I'll explain it. And maybe I can show you. But I quite honestly don't mind showing you this because I like that reed material a lot. Our next step is to run Boysen's 2-stage. We've experienced problems with the Boysen 2-stage reeds with that bottom reed breaking. Okay, in these saws. I had one break here a while ago that I put one in, and I hadn't run it a ton. And somebody else had one break too. Maybe Buckin did. Yeah, he did. Okay, so I want to get something that works just as good or better. Let's try this. That's what we need to do. We need to try this. And we'll continue this journey tomorrow. Thank you so much for being here, guys. It means so much to me. And take care of yourselves. And I mean it. Take care of your family and your loved ones. And we'll be seeing you with more of this tomorrow. Maybe running. We don't know. Goodbye.